So just for you music buffs, whoa, I'm embracing the reverb. Joseph Haydn, who just wrote some of the most positive, just delightful music, kind of like a nice little glass of champagne. We'll be getting a little more champagne later in that service.
I didn't see it walking in.
So I thought maybe we'd hit the old Unity songbook. I don't know if that black book is in the seat pockets, but this is Spirit's Journey, and we got the words on the slides. So here we go. Spirit's journey, sailing on the ocean of oneness, ocean of love. Spirit's journey, learning what we're here for. Here we are together in love. We are unity, teaching each other, reaching a hand out, touching a friend. We are unity, growing in wisdom. Here we are together, growing in love. Spirit's journey, seeing new horizons, setting a course for living the truth. Spirit's journey, unity in motion, sailing on the ocean of love. All right, you guys are sounding good this morning. We'll have to do this again.
Awesome.
Good morning, Unity Spokane. How are we doing today?
Great, Jeff.
Jan, these are artificial. Yeah, sorry, they're unofficial.
I didn't know if they were real or artificial.
I love you. I just love your spirit, so thank you so much. Welcome, everyone, on this beautiful day. Those of you that chose to join us inside when there's so much going on outside. But it's like our lives, right? We have a lot going on the outside that affects us on the inside, so here we are. Scott, amazing. I love just the music and your talent and sharing that with us. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you for letting me be here this morning.
And we're going to be having more of Scott. So they're going to be traveling, but we're going to be being blessed with more of his amazing talent. And I'm hoping Judy too on the violin. Anyways, welcome to Unity Spokane, where we're all about our mission of transforming lives and inspiring people to make a positive difference in our world. I'm Jeff Taney. I'll be your platform assistant this morning. And as always, we want to first start off with our muting of our cell phones. So if you've got your phone, just put it on mute or turn it off or whatever, so we don't have those disturbances. We want to begin with our time together by sharing our opening affirmation. I will say it once and then ask you to join me on the second time. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good. Together, there is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good. This is Unity's foundation principle. One presence, one power, one life, living in and through each one of us. This morning we are blessed to have transformational speaker Chris Angell, who is going to be delivering his message of leading through uncertainty, perspective over circumstances. And Amber McKenzie will be coming up and leading our meditation after Scott is done as well. And as I said, we are blessed to have Scott Jameson. We'll be hearing more from him this morning. So, without any further delay here, let's continue. Scott? Oh, and I forgot, Hank's going to be coming up and leading us in a song, I believe. Oh, with Scott.
Oh, okay.
How you doing? I can do anything?
I am.
Okay.
All right.
Before we start, I just want to say one thing. You need to remember that the words you speak, the thoughts you hold, program your internal creative being and create your life. So think about that as we sing this song. I know you've probably sung before. Okay, I'm ready.
All right.
Are you- I can do anything I make up my mind to do. I've got a thing inside that I was designed to do, and nothing can hold me back if I don't want it to, 'cause I can do anything I make up my mind to do. 'Cause if I can think, then I can dream, and when I can dream, I can believe, and what I believe, then I will see. I can do anything, anything. I can be anyone that is decide to be. I have a great big dream growing inside of me. No one can bring me down, 'cause I know what's right for me. I can be anyone that I decide to be. 'Cause if I can think, then I can dream, and what I can dream, I can believe. When I believe, then I will see. I can do anything, anything. I can do anything, make up my mind to do. I've got a thing inside that I was designed to do. Nothing can hold me back, 'cause I don't want it to. 'Cause I can do anything I make up my mind to do. As if I do anything I make up my mind to do. Thank you.
It's you.
It's so silent. It's so nice. The quiet is so wonderful. Hang on. I get 30 minutes. Is that right? Okay, you'll be my countdown timers?
3 minutes.
30? 30? Okay. All right. That's plenty of time. I was like, thanks for having me back, by the way. It's great to be here. There's something about unity that is unique to me in the world, that there's a space that is so open and welcoming. I think the world's really hungry for that right now. You know, there's a lot of conflict, a lot of divisiveness, and I think right now in a space of that and that kind of energy, to have a place that is this open-minded, open-hearted is really important. And so in that note, what I love doing when I share places is treat it like a conversation. This is a conversation between you and me. It's not really a presentation. It's an opportunity for us to see what shows up here. You know, like I've done some preparation, not winging this. Does anybody know Rob Bell? Does anybody like Rob Bell? Love Rob Bell. He's got a podcast called The Robcast, and he talks about, for the longest time, he would do lots of preparation, like hours and hours of preparation for a sermon he would do. And but then there was a moment in his life where he started to realize, like, everything he had prepared and wanted them to get, somebody would come up afterwards and say, you know, what you said really reminded me of this other thing that had nothing to do with what he had prepared for, right? And he started to realize, like, he doesn't actually control what Spirit delivers to you. You know, like I've prepared some stuff. I'm going to share some thoughts, and somewhere in your chair where you're sitting, Spirit's going to do something for you. So this is a co-creation this morning, right? Like this is me and you having a conversation about some things. And it's less important probably what I say and more important what Spirit sort of prompts in your heart. So I would be listening for that, yeah. Okay, cool. So leading through uncertainty. Last time I was here, we talked about leadership because I just think the world needs more leaders right now. And my talk last time was everyone is a leader. Everyone is a leader. So I figured I would pick up where I left off last time and start talking about, well, how do we lead when times are uncertain? And, you know, it's interesting, whether it's recent Supreme Court rulings or guns or whatever topic of the day happens, those kinds of things come into our space, and it creates a lot of uncertainty. Like, what now? What's next? What do we do with this? And there's a difference between living through uncertainty and leading through uncertainty, right? You can feel the difference in that, yeah? Living through uncertainty kind of puts you at the mercy of circumstance. Like, this happened, and now I'm going to live with it, and I'm going to live through it. And so what we do is, at least, well, I'll tell you what I do. I'm a very good martyr. I'm a very good martyr. Like, I can just sit there and beat myself up for the way it is and put up with it and suffer through it. So, and I'm not saying I've mastered, by the way, leading through uncertainty. I think there are areas of my life where I'm really good at leading, and then there are areas of my life where I'm just living. So, you know, we're never done. We're never cooked fully here in this experience. You're never fully there. So it's a constant opportunity for expansion. How do we continue to expand the ways we lead and the areas we lead in our life? So I want to unpack this with you a little bit. And I want to start with a little context. I always like to start with context. Does anybody know Michael Singer? The Surrender Experiment, the Untethered Soul? Yep. Oh, I love Michael Singer. He has an Audible book called The Untethered Soul at Work. I don't believe you can get it anywhere else. I think it's just in Audible. And in chapter 2, if you're going to want to go straight to it, he gives a metaphor of a warehouse. And the warehouse, if you picture the world as just a dark warehouse, and there are 7 billion people in the world, and each of us gets to, so picture 7 billion people and all the events in a day that happen, or in a year. There's so many things happening at any given time in this warehouse. But the thing is, you can't see all the things happening, right? You can't see them, literally. So what happens is, a lot of times in the age that we live in, because there's the internet and social media and YouTube and news and whatever, we often see the things that get highlighted. We're like, oh, here was the Supreme Court ruling recently, right? And there's a lot of attention there. And then we might see the Super Bowl. Oh, the Super Bowl happened, and then there's a lot of attention there, right? There are different things that get attention, but that's by no means the whole of all the things happening in this warehouse. And so, in chapter 2, if you listen to it, you'll hear so you, in your life, in your lived experience, go into this warehouse and you have a light. You are a light. And your light falls on whatever it falls on. And if you choose to point it here, it shines on whatever's there. And if you choose to point it here, it shines on whatever's here. So you start to notice, right, that whatever you're experiencing is coming from what your light is shining on. You notice that? Like, it's interesting. This is where we talk about perspective over circumstance. Because if your light is shining on circumstance, then guess what you get? Guess what you get more of? Guess what you're noticing? Circumstance, yeah. And I would say, I would guess that most of us, the vibe of the circumstance we shine our light on a lot of times by default isn't really the circumstance we want to be shining our light on. It's like it's not enjoyable. But you have a choice. I mean, that's the cool part, right? Like, where you choose to shine that light is totally up to you. You could not shine your light on 7 billion occurrences in a day. It just wouldn't be possible. And so it starts to, there's an implication here about this warehouse. Like, you have this life. You have this life. And if you're going to lead, then you should start to decide how you're going to organize your life to point it in the direction you want to point it. That's leading through uncertainty, right? Versus living through uncertainty. Living is kind of like bumping into all the things that happen around you, and leading is sort of organizing your life in a direction. So, with that in mind, with that context in mind about the warehouse, I want to talk about sort of the breakdown here. In uncertainty, and it's going to happen, like again, you'll never get to a spot where you're always certain. But in uncertainty, we tend to shrink. We tend to shrink back in our lived experience. We take less risks. We play it safe. And sometimes with that, we can, worry tends to bubble up. Or it could, instead of worry, it could be anger. Anger bubbles up when things interrupt our certainty. I was certain until that happened. Stupid thing, like, you know. I had played golf yesterday. It was so awesome down at Qualchin. I came back. I had walked the course. I was pretty tired. And my refrigerator just started making all these beepy sounds. It was beep, beep, and there was nothing I could do to reset it. It just kept beeping at me. And so this completely unexpected project popped up in front of me. And I spent the rest of the day swearing like a sailor, trying to fix this refrigerator. And in this uncertain of how to fix the fridge, uncertain of what's causing it, uncertain of very certain that I didn't want to be doing this, by the way. Very certain about that. But uncertain of just the whole task of it all, I found myself angry, frustrated, derailed. And I think this is what happens in life, right? Like you look out at society, it might not be a refrigerator. It might be something like a Supreme Court decision, or it might be something like guns, or it might be something like whatever the topic is for you. I don't know. But you look at the things that cause you upset, and typically what's going to be in there is it's interrupting your certainty. It's interesting, we crave certainty, by the way. I've been in business since 2000, for myself since 2011. Actually, that's not true. Even at 2001, I got into business for myself, and then worked for a company for a while, and then went back to business for myself. And there's something in business where, I just always wanted the certainty of knowing that, one, money was coming, because that feels good when you're certain money's coming. That's not a guarantee, by the way, when you have your own business. Wish somebody had told me that. Not that it would have changed my decision, by the way. I'm too independent for that, But do you see, in the uncertainty of is money coming, I'm craving that certainty, and it's a made up certainty because it's out there. It's not here yet, so I'm actually not certain about it. I just want it to be certain, and I think sometimes we confuse certainty for the perceived desire for a future certainty, which is not guaranteed. By the way, you don't get that. You don't get a guaranteed certainty in the future. So we kind of pine for a certainty that's not guaranteed. There's no power in that. There's no power in wishing for something that you have no control over. Which brings us back then to you in this moment. What are you going to do in this moment? How do you lead through this uncertainty? Because you don't get the hopeful certainty out in the future. You only have this moment. And how do you be certain in this moment? Because watch, when you're certain, instead of uncertain, when you're certain, you lead. Whenever I'm certain, I'm like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I may not know how to do it, but I'm here and I'm going to do it. And you lead. Or you're more likely to lead. Also, you get into a creative mode, right? You find your agency. You find your own ability to stand in the gap of what is known and what is unknown. You're certain. So think, for example, of pioneering has been the word pioneer has been an important word for me lately, because I feel like what a lot of us are doing who don't fit the common mold, right? If you're a misfit, if you sort of are an outlier, you don't fit in the bell curve of humanity where you just think different than most people. It's hard to put you in a box. What happens is what I think is happening is we're pioneering. I think unity is a pioneering entity. You just look at its core beliefs. That is ahead of the curve of where humanity is consciously. The consciousness of humanity is still unfolding, it's expanding, but when you look at the tenets of unity, it's ahead of the curve. That's a pioneer. That's pioneering. So it is literally standing in the gap of here's how it is, here's how we want it to be, and I'm going to be certain in what? This is what we have to figure out. What am I going to be certain in? Because if I can find the certainty in this gap of how it is versus how I want it to be, if I can find the certainty here, then what? Then I'll lead and I'll create. But if I'm only living through uncertainty, then I have no agency and I won't stand in a gap. I'll wait for somebody else to do it. Now, picture 7 billion people. I mean, well, we don't have to do that. We could take half. Let's take half. Let's take 3.5. Is that 7? 3.5 billion, right? Let's take 10%. Let's take 7 billion, or what is that? 700 million. And let's just say those people stood in the gap. Those people figured out how to find their certainty in uncertainty and lead and create. This is the thing. Culturally, there's a group think that's happening, which is, and I think it's just kind of been, it's kind of how our country or our world has expanded, is like people with power, people with resources went out and created stuff. They were the ones that were leading. They were the ones that were creating. And we were like, sweet, thanks for doing that. I'll just draft on you. Right? That saved me a lot of time and headache. I didn't have to do it, Saved me a lot of uncertainty. Because now I know I just show up to work, I get paid, I go home, I drink a beer, and I'm good to go. Certainty, predictability, rhythm. But we're not there anymore. That time is gone. We're not in the industrial revolution anymore. It's not a factory setting now. I say the world is tribing down. Where we went from industrial revolution, a working revolution, to where it grew and grew and grew, so more and more people had jobs. And we didn't have to think that way. Now, that has sort of run its course, and the world is tribing down. And you can see this in the gig economy. There's a lot of people who are independent contractors, becoming solopreneurs, going into business. They're finding their own way. But in finding their own way, and I know this because I coach these people, entrepreneurs who made the leap to go do it their way, to pioneer. But in the process of pioneering, they're now freaking out because everything's uncertain. It's so interesting because we find the courage to actually take the leap because there's something in our heart that propels us, that inspires us. We're like, yes, I will do it. And then we go do it, and we're like, crap, what did I just do? And there's this, the madness that comes from following your heart is petrifying. It's terrifying because there is no guarantee. And so what a lot of people do, if I go back a slide, what a lot of people do is they make the leap. Oh, crap, what did I do? We shrink back down into what is certain. Watch this for a second. I want to show you. So here's how I think this unfolds. Can you see this okay? Okay. So if we're all in the warehouse. Okay, hang on. Stay with me now. This is causing me a lot of anxiety. I'll be very gentle. My assistant, Amber. Thank you, Amber. Okay, so in this moment, this is you. This is you in your life, okay? It's fine. I think it's got enough weight in the little things here. This reminds me of my refrigerator yesterday. Don't know what's going to happen. Did you have an idea? You had an idea, didn't you?
I was the one that put it up there, so I know how it goes on there.
Oh. What's your name?
Deanna.
Deanna, thank you.
I'm also a
Perfect. So that circle, as Deanna's fixing that circle is you. It's your life. It's you in the warehouse. And what's interesting is we've all been born into this warehouse, and over however old you are, you've been taking inventory of the warehouse you're in. I'm just going to wait. Yay!
Just don't touch it.
Oh. Listen, I'm going to project my ink onto the paper. All right. Okay, so this is you. You can use my laser pointer probably. This is you, and over the course of your life, you've been in this dark warehouse, and you've been taking inventory of what's in it. You're like, this is my car, this is my house, this is my marriage, this is my work, this is right. And as you've been inventorying what your light has been shining on in that, it's giving you a sense of what? Certainty. Yeah, you're like, I kind of know what's in my world. I know what's in my world, right? And so, you know what you know, and you probably don't know what you don't know, like you haven't been beyond what you have inventoried, so you don't know what else is in the warehouse. Okay? So you can see how just from the comforts of life, it'd be very enticing to stay here. The challenge is the heart's not wired that way. The soul's not wired that way. Our soul is expansive. What do we say on the slide there? Like, one presence, one God, in me, through me. You want to put all that cosmic power in itty-bitty living space? That's a Aladdin reference, by the way. You can't put the genie in the bottle. You can't put all the creation, all the presence of God in this and ask it to just be okay with, the same old routine. Spirit is expansive. Consciousness is expansive. And so you, in your intellect, might be comfortable here, but if you've noticed, if you're listening at all, you'll start to notice there's but I want to go over here, or I want to make a difference for something. And anytime you answer the call, here's what happens. If you answer that call, try not to touch it very hard. Okay? Your world just expanded. And in this expansion, this is certain, right? And what is this? Uncertain. It's a whole area of this dark warehouse you haven't explored yet. And like I said, with the people who hire me as a coach, they'll go out and they'll start exploring, and they're like, I don't know. I keep bumping into stuff, and I bumped my shin the other day, and I went broke the other day. There's all these things that are unknown risks out here in uncertainty. But this is the path to expansion. So I guess what I'm saying here is, right, if you're going to live the fullest life possible, then you're going to live a life of expansion. And if you're going to live a life of expansion, then there's going to be uncertainty. It just is. The question is whether you're going to live through it or lead through it. That choice is yours. So, watch this. How do we... The whole question here, let me check my slides because I'm going to draw some more, but sometimes I blend them all together. Let me first say this. Wayne Dyer, any Wayne Dyer fans in the house? What's up, Wayne Dyer? I remember he was teaching in his books and audios on objective perspective versus subjective perspective. And what we tend to do, what gives us a perceived sense of certainty is looking at what is objectively. We're like, well, this happened, and this happened, and this just happened, and that just happened, and we're taking note of all the things we can see. That's objective reality, or objective noticing. Because you can see, it's right there. It's objective. It's not up to your subjective interpretation. It just is what it is. There was a Supreme Court ruling. That is what it is, right? And we're doing lots of note-taking of what is. And then we feel, what most of the time happens is when we notice what is that way, we feel bad about it. We feel uncertain about it. And then you might go out and notice objectively that it's sunny today and it feels really warm today. And you're like, oh, and that makes me feel good. And then I noticed something over here objectively that made me feel bad. And then I feel something over here. Do you see how we bounce, boom, 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 emotional roller coaster back and forth because we're doing so much objective noticing. Subjective noticing, right, is the whole thing about how you are looking for. The clues, the breadcrumbs, the things that are in alignment with what you're here to lead. Again, out of 7 billion people and all the chaos, we'll use that word, it's a clean word. I was sharing some of this with my son earlier, and I was not using clean words. But when you look at the chaos in the world, in the warehouse, in the dark warehouse, if you gave your objective attention to all the chaos happening, you would be drawn and quartered. You would be ripped to shreds, and you could not get out of bed. There's too much chaos, too much tragedy, too much ugliness. So how do you decide which ugliness to give your attention to and which not to give your attention to? There's a lot of people right now that if we measured the human energy of anger right now, we could measure the kilowatts of anger being shared right now in the last week, or last year, or last 4 years. I mean, do you get my point? Like, we just keep going measure all the anger. And where's that anger coming from? It's coming from the objective noticing of all the chaos that's happening. This is living through uncertainty, not leading through uncertainty. This is a bunch of people, this is a bunch of us noticing the chaos and trying to decide which one am I going to be angry about today. Well, which chaos gets my attention today? Maybe the loudest one? Maybe the one that hurts my values the most? I'm not saying you shouldn't be an aware citizen. I'm not saying you should just put your head in the sand. But I'm also saying you can't handle all the chaos. So what's the threshold for how much chaos you let in? Is it? I mean, that's a real philosophical question, really, because you start to go, well, is there a rationale to let in even a little bit? And if so, why? What for? If you could answer that with a good reason, like because it's the contrast I need to reassert my path as a pioneer to this change I want to make. Okay, that works. But if it's just to be like, I gave my attention to this today and it threw me off track and I'm pissed and I have no agency about fixing it, then what's the point? There are a lot of people, when I said, like, let's take 10% of 7 billion for 700 million, there's a lot of people who aren't leading. They're reacting. And they're doing a lot of objective noticing rather than subjective creating. You can't overrule a Supreme Court ruling. Do you know you can't just go down to the courthouse and be like, I would like to object. I think you should reconsider that. Could you go back into your chambers and meet for a while? It doesn't work like that. So how long will you give this energy? If you really want to lead change about it, do you see where I'm going? Like, now I'm kind of, this is like me and you calling ourselves out on the carpet, because if you really want to create change, it's not going to come from a Facebook post. It's not going to, listen, it's not even going to come from writing your legislator. Is it? I mean, isn't the writing on the wall on that one? Oh, thank you. That's my, okay. I thought you were high-fiving me for a minute. So, there's some implications here, right? Because now if you're going to lead through uncertainty, you start to realize there's some organizing of your life, like the whole life, not this week, but like how are you setting up your life? In what direction are you headed? Because if you know that, then you could stand in the gap between how it is and how you want it to be. Because you know that you're a pioneer for that change. You're a pioneer to bring that about. And then, when all those around you who are living through uncertainty, get upset and angry about the way it is, and then they say, well, you should be going and doing more stuff. You're like, no, I've actually organized my life in a direction to make the change I'm here to make. See, I see a lot of people are like petitioning for, go do something about it. And I'm like, do what? I've organized my life in my direction. I am doing something about it, but it's not fast and easy like you want it to be. It is my whole life's work that I've set up in front of me. And I will do this, I will die on this hill. Because I see how it is in the gap for how it is versus how I want it to be. And in that, I found my agency. In that, I found my certainty. And that's how you find your certainty. Is you start to find, and I'll end with this, right? You need to, the method here, the way you get there, a way you get there. A way to bring certainty to uncertainty is in this circle, where you, in the warehouse, took all that inventory of what's happening. As you expand into uncertainty, into the warehouse, you bring with you, what do you believe? This is what I believe. This is what I value. This is what life has taught me or what I've learned. Okay, so that kind of gives me like how it's been for me. This is what I believe. This is what I value. This is what I've learned. Then we can turn towards the expansion of it and go, and this is what I see. This is what I subjectively see for the world. This is what I see. This is what I desire. This is what I want to create. And in that, you have now brought with you things that are certain. I am certain of what I see that I want for the world. I am certain of what I desire. I am certain of what I believe. I am certain of what I value. And when I bring that into the dark warehouse on my pioneering journey forward, I have, even though it's uncertain, I have this comfort about who I am, and I'm grounded in that moment. I'm grounded in that work. Now I'm no longer a victim of circumstance. I've used my perception, my perspective to see it a different way. And that's what we all have the opportunity to do. So as you step out into the uncertainty of this world today and the rest of your life, you will be served by organizing your life towards the world you want to live in and standing in that gap by bringing your certainty into the uncertainty you're about to experience. Thank you.
So we're going to get ready for meditation by singing together, There Is Only Love. In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. One more time. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
Let's take a moment now to breathe in those words. There is only love. There is only spirit. Love is spirit, and spirit is love. So let us become conscious of the love of spirit in our breath now. As we slowly breathe in and out. Follow this breath of spirit as it swirls all around you, within you. Allow it to flow easily and effortlessly, as spirit does, throughout your entire body, filling your lungs, your stomach, your heart, and every organ and cell of your body. Imagine this breath of spirit as it grounds you to the earth below. Feel that deep connection to Mother Earth and allow it to transport you. Now I want you to imagine your heart beating with spirit. Imagine your heart is breathing. Imagine it growing, energizing with each breath. And now call forth a memory or a time in your life when you were consumed with the feeling of complete and total love. This might be a treasured memory, a time in nature, an accomplishment, a cherished loved one, a beloved child or pet. Allow this feeling of total and complete love to return to you now. As you continue to breathe in and out of your heart space, allow this feeling of love and appreciation to be amplified like a powerful light bulb radiating in every direction. Imagine that energy expanding, filling this room and everyone in it. As we collectively, together, create a light field of coherence. A field so powerful, it travels at the speed of light, blanketing the entire planet with pure, healing, heart-centered love. Let us take this image of universal light, oneness, and connection as we go deeper into the silence. Beloved Spirit, we give thanks for this powerful collective field of heart coherence that has already transformed our world and everyone in it. For this, we are so very grateful. And so it is. Amen.
How many people needed that message today? Show of hands. When did you decide on that topic?
Last week.
Before everything was going on?
I think so, yeah.
Wow. I needed it big time. And I think it's just amazing how spirit guided things are. Now, I'm going to also point out something. I want you to replay this message today, and I want you to listen to the meditation and the music going with it. Because you two were so in sync. It was absolutely amazing. And I'll tell you, firsthand testimony here, he decided to play with her doing the meditation 10 minutes, 15 minutes before the service started. So this was not rehearsed. I'm getting goosebumps. Literally, I'm telling you, go back and listen to the message. Listen to her playing and his accompaniment. Wow. Okay. It's amazing. This spiritual stuff is amazing. It works. Unity stands for peace in the presence of conflict, for love in the presence of hatred, for forgiveness in the presence of injury. Unity honors the many names for God, the many paths to God, for we know that there is only one power and one presence and one life. So whoever you are and wherever you are in your path of spiritual journey, you are welcomed here. Is there anyone here for the first time that feels comfortable with raising your hand? A couple over here, yeah. Come back here. Well, guess what? We have a treat for you. Our baristas are here today. And they will bless you with a free drink of your choice and on them. So please take advantage of it. And also, thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with us. We appreciate that. If you are also new to our ministry, you can, there we go. Our little QR code, you can scan that with your camera, and that will take you to sign up for the email newsletter that goes out. Understand that the newsletter that goes out that you get in your email box has a lot more of what's going on at Unity than what we talk about, share with News You Can Use. So in News You Can Use, we talk about things that we are doing here, but in the email, the newsletter, you'll get things that are in addition to. So there's a lot of things that are going on that not necessarily Unity, but they are happening here at the center, and we want you to be aware of those and be able to participate. You can also go to unityspokane.org. You can connect with us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, if you choose to do so. I want to be honest with you this week. I've decided I'm going to take social media back. Right? I'm going to take it back. So I'll maybe talk more about that another time. But anyways. So thank you for joining us, and we thank you for being here. Now we're going to take a moment and go into our greeting time. And we can offer each other a virtual hug, a high five, a socially distanced namaste. But if you'll all just take some time here just to welcome one another.
Okay, everybody. Time to wind down, sit down. I love the buzz. We've got a few announcements that we can share. And then we've got a little bit of a center update as well, Spirit and Action Council update. So first up, as always, we want to make sure that you are aware of all the things going on at Unity Spiritual Center. So please sign up for our e-newsletter. If you need help with that, please let me or Deanna know. We can help you. It's very, very easy, and you'll get an email every Wednesday. So just let us know if you need any help with that. And then we have furniture for sale. I don't know if you saw it. It's kind of big furniture. So if you're looking for some big furniture, big, heavy furniture that you need a truck for? No, I'm sorry, I can't help it. Like, I'm trying to really sell it, aren't I?
I volunteered the truck and trailer to relocate it if somebody wants to buy it.
Did you hear that?
I won't move it, but I'll get it there.
Got it. So Jeff can help you get it there. Okay, so if you are interested, it's all in the lobby area, right, Deanna? Yeah. And there are several pieces, so please take a look. And if you are interested, today is the very last day to do it. So don't miss out. And then if it doesn't go today by noon, then Deanna's going to put it on Marketplace, right, Deanna? Yeah. So, and then we've got Kids Week, but I'm going to have Hank come up and give us a little bit more information about Kids Week and Spirit and Action Council update. Come on up, Hank.
So, as many of you know, this spiritual center, formerly church, has a long history in youth ministries and helping children. And we've had kid camps during the summer, usually a week-long camp, for years and years. Hadn't been there for the last 2 years. So this year is our first one coming back. And our camp this year is entitled Earth Buddies. And there it is that it? Yep, that's it. Amber did the slide. And as you get by the picture, this is really about connecting with the earth. I don't know if you're aware of it, you probably are, but the earth is a living, breathing being. She's not a cold lump going through space. She's alive. She is the mother of each and every one of us, and she's in each and every one of us. And we're going to help kids learn that and experience that. I think a lot of them already know it, but we're going to help them develop ways to do it. So anyway, you can see that it's coming up July 14th to 19th, 11th to 14th. We still have space for more kids to join. So a lot of you are like my age, and so you maybe have grandkids who would like to bring, or tell your neighbors or something, but we're still looking for more kids. And it's just going to be a wonderful chance for those kids to get together with the earth, and we have many wonderful activities planned. And I think it's going to be a very special week. And I want to also say, too, while I'm up here, that we are always looking for more people to help teach the kids on Sundays. Every week I come up here, often I usually teach, and I come up with the group I teach, and we're thanked for doing it. And one of the best ways you can thank us would be to come and help us do it. There's a lot of us, there aren't too many of us, and honestly, it's coming to the point where we can't keep doing it every week, and we're going to have to take a break if we need to. So we could use more help so that doesn't have to happen. So you can help us in any way, that would be appreciated. Even just to come and be a helper would be good, or to take a lead and do some teaching. So you can do that, I'd appreciate it. So spread the word about that, and to register for the kids camp, you can go to our website. The button you click is very easy to do. This form to fill out, you pay for it. And we also have scholarships available. If you know someone who can't afford it, it's only $20. So it's not much. But anyway, we can, maybe it's more than that now, Pastor Curley. Just went up today, okay. Anyway, it's not much, and but please consider it and pass it on. Thank you.
Thank you, Hank. Okay, now is our time for our prosperity and our community giving. We celebrate abundance together as we share our tithes and our love offerings. If you would like to give virtually today, you can do so by texting to that number. We will also be having an offering here, or you can also, there's a box in the back you can drop your offering in. Just know that we sincerely appreciate anything that you give to our ministry here. So with that, we're going to do our blessing. And we'll say it together. I know that my giving blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give and receive. I give thanks for the abundance that is mine to share.
All right, time for a little more bubbly. Hopefully don't spill any. Well, see, we spilled some.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Abundance and provider. Abundant provider, we thank you for these gifts from those who have given them. As we send them forward in our continued service to our mission of transforming lives and inspiring people to make a positive difference in our world, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you. Our chaplains today are Gary Howard and David. They've been holding service for us in prayer today. Gary will be here after service. So if you have a special need that you want prayer or encouragement with, please see Gary. He'll be up front after the service. And then following the peace song. We would also like to encourage anyone who is in need of prayer support. There are cards in the seat backs that you can fill out. And you can drop them in the wooden box in the back on the left-hand side there. Those prayers, those requests are prayed for here locally for 30 days, and then they're forwarded. And then they go to Silent Unity, and where they're prayed for in addition too. So please be sure to take advantage of that. Do we have little ones? We have little ones. Come back to the light. Come back. They're all anxious to go see Mom, see? So they're all etching to get to be the first one. That's awesome. The kids have arrived. We had an alternate to Walking in the Light. We're so blessed to have our amazing kids and our volunteers that serve as Hank. There we go. Come back in. Hey, let me ask you a question. What was the one thing you learned today? One thing. No? I thought I'd try it. Anyways, we thank you for the volunteers who have helped, and we thank you for the kids, and we thank you for trusting your kids with us. So let's do our children's blessing. If you'll join me. Be the love you are. Sing the song you hear. Share your joy of life with people far and near. And for ourselves, be the love we are. Sing the song we hear. Share our joy of life with people far and near. Thank you. And kids, you may return to those that brought you. All right, well, we're going to conclude, and I thank you all for being here. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Amber. Thank you all for being here today. As we stand and join together in our closing prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever God is, and all is well, and that's the truth.
sing with me, let this be